So you say diligently, and you've heard about Roth conversions. You may have seen it in the news. Someone may have talked to you about it. You're wondering if it's right for your situation. But here's the truth. The wrong move at the wrong time could cost tens of thousands of dollars in unnecessary taxes, possibly even more if the conversion is large enough. I'm definitely not telling you that it's a bad move. In fact, Roth conversions can be a powerful tool. I'm a certified financial planner, and over the past 8 years, I've worked with dozens of individuals and families, helping them to plan for their future. And Roth conversions has been one of the levers that we use with our effort to squeeze the most juice out of our clients' nest egg for their future. Designing the right Roth conversion strategy for the right person at the right time does have a lot of moving pieces at play, and it can go wrong if it's not done with care. And that's exactly why today I'm going to be walking through 4 of the most common mistakes that I see when it comes to Roth conversions. So mistake number 1 is the diversion problem. People get so caught up in the idea of a Roth conversion and the potential, and it might even make sense in their situation, but they might not see other circumstances that could have higher value in their situation, depending on the overall contextual factors. Here's an example. Clients that come in, they may have high appreciation on taxable position, and they may be retiring and they only have a few low tax years. There's different strategies that we use in those low tax years. It could be Roth conversions, but if they have a concentrated position, either in one mutual fund or a single stock or former employer stock, we may determine that the selling of those taxable positions in those low tax years to realize 0% capital gains could be higher value in their specific circumstances. There could be a lot of different factors at play, such as medical cost planning and helping to get subsidies based on certain income limits as well. So while Roth conversions get a lot of headlines, there could be several benefits that outweigh them by doing a different strategy in your situation and having an analysis done to really weigh the pros and cons of different possible courses of action is the only way to really get an assessment. In this situation, maybe reducing concentration risk and achieving other tax benefits may outweigh the benefits of Roth conversions for certain people. So if you want to do Roth conversions, you just want to make sure that it's not taking away from benefits that you might get by pursuing other areas. Now, all of this can seem like a lot. There's lots of moving pieces. So we've designed a free diagnostic tool that you can use to help get some assessment of where you stand and what strategies may be most relevant for you to consider. You can find that diagnostic tool in the link in the description below. All you do is you fill out a quick questionnaire, and I will personally send you a 5-minute video breaking down some key feedback on where I see things in your situation, if you're off track, if not, or what next steps might look like. Now, to the second mistake, it's ignoring the break even of your Roth conversion. At the end of the day, Roth conversions are an expense. You're choosing to pay the taxes today up front with hope that it pays off later. But just like any investment, there is a break even point in the future. It means if you converted dollars at a higher tax rate, you have to grow enough to not only replace the taxes that you've paid, but outperform what you would have done if you had simply left the money in a pre-tax account and withdrew it later. So how long does it take? Well, say you convert $100,000 and you pay $24,000 in taxes from your IRA. That leaves you with $76,000. That $76,000 now needs time to grow just to get you back to where you started, and even more time to beat the deferred tax scenario. Why does that matter? Because the payoff may not happen for as much as 10 years, depending on your tax assumptions, investment returns, and whether you live long enough to realize the benefits. And if your income needs naturally taper off later in life, which is typical, there is a possibility that your tax bracket is actually lower later on. And here's the kicker. If you end up in the same or lower tax bracket later, the Roth conversion might never catch up. And this is why we treat Roth conversions like any other investment. It has costs, payoff curves, and risk. And the longer your time horizon, the more likely you are to benefit from a Roth conversion. That's why, for estate planning purposes, a Roth conversion can be a strong potential play. But if your window is short and income likely to drop later, the case for a future break even point on a Roth conversion this year may not be as strong. That's not a reason to avoid Roths altogether or avoid Roth conversions altogether, but it is a reason to slow things down, model out the outcome and the consequences, and not blindly assume it will help. And speaking of modeling the right strategy, even people who understand the break even point sometimes fall into the next trap, converting too much all at once and triggering a tax surge that they didn't see coming. The lump sum conversion trap is one that I see more often than you might expect. Let's say someone decides to convert a large chunk of $1 million IRA in 1 year. Just rip the band-aid off, right? This happens if people are too trigger happy with their Roth conversion. They can shoot their taxable income levels into some of the highest tax brackets, maybe 34 or 37%. With federal and state taxes, it could be well over 40%. And the whole purpose of the Roth conversion is that you position yourself to keep more of your money over time rather than give it to the government. Instead of optimizing, they're now paying the government more than they needed to. They've completely defeated the whole purpose of the Roth conversion. And why does this happen? Well, people get anxious and they hear that Roth is good. They may be concerned that tax rates may go up and they rush to finish it all in one shot. But tax planning is about precision, not speed. The best way to avoid this is with a lifetime tax analysis. The key is to convert just enough to fill strategic tax brackets year by year and really aiming it to be at your lowest tax years compared to other tax brackets projected in the future. This is challenging because it requires a large model that factors in a lot of different things. It needs to be updated year after year because of changing tax rules and changing life circumstances. But if you do it correctly, it could save you over 6 figures of taxes over time compared to just blindly doing it. Even if you calculate the right amount, though, you can still get blindsided by little known hidden taxes that punish your Social Security or even your Medicare costs. And this is known as the double tax torpedo. This is a surprise that catches a lot of people. You can do a Roth conversion and you can even factor in your federal tax brackets. But if you're not looking at how your Social Security gets taxed, the overall tax rate that you may realize as a result of your Roth conversion can be as high as 40% or more, which completely defeats the purpose of doing a Roth conversion. To determine if a Roth conversion really makes sense, you need to also consider how your Social Security taxes may be affected. This is done with something called the provisional income formula. When your income, including conversions, crosses certain thresholds, up to 85% of your Social Security can become taxable. A $1 Roth conversion, if this applies in this situation, might cause additional Social Security to be taxed. And that means you're getting taxed on dollars that you converted, but also additional dollars for Social Security. So your actual tax rate is a lot higher than what it might seem like on an initial analysis. And this applies because people considering Roth conversions are usually around 62 and 70, which is exactly the same age as people can take Social Security. And so you really need to factor how all of this applies and how these decisions intersect with each other. Roth conversions can be a powerful tool, but you need to really consider concentration risk, thresholds, break-even points, Social Security, tax brackets. So that's why we've created a free mini tool to get some simple diagnostics on your plan. If you fill out the questionnaire below, I will personally send you a free video breaking down some feedback on your personal situation and give you some idea of next steps. Thank you for taking some time to watch, and until next time.